Good morning, my friends. This is Deepak again. How are you? I hope all is going well. You're taking precautions, sheltering, and physical social distancing, practicing all the good advice we're getting from professionals on how to mitigate against the morbidity and mortality of this COVID-19 pandemic. And I hope you're following all the rules of washing hands and whatever is being suggested because it's all very useful and you can do a lot to minimize your risk of infection. And even if you have the infection, you can do a lot to minimize the damage and mitigate the likelihood of extreme morbidity and even mortality. But all that is now in the public domain. I've been posting about it as well. And right now I'm focusing, though, on something that at some point everybody experiences. And that something is existential anxiety. Now, it so happens that this existential anxiety is becoming a pandemic right now because it is at this moment part of the zeitgeist. So, what I want to say is that at some point, every human being experiences existential anxiety and existential suffering and the fear of death at some point. Almost everyone. Not everyone, almost everyone. Yes, experiences that. And right now, because this pandemic is affecting everyone, although it is still affecting the elderly and the people who have chronic illnesses, it's affecting them more. Diabetes and hypertension and heart disease and cancer and autoimmune illness and any chronic inflammation. It's affecting them more, people with those situations more. And people with those situations have immunocompromised systems and inflammation in the body and what are being called inflammatory storms. And so we're doing everything now to minimize that. And I've posted a lot about that. You can check out my videos, but many other people are talking about that. I'm now talking about something that everyone faces at some point in their life, especially when they take existence for granted. So when existence is taken for granted and there's the perception that it is threatened, then and only then do people start to address this deeper question. What is existence? How come I took it for granted? Why am I not grateful that I exist? What can I do to ensure the sanctity and the sacredness of that which we call existence? Not just my existence, because my existence is part of existence. I can't exist unless everything else exists. Those trees behind me, and you, and me, and the biosphere, and the whole ecological environment. If that didn't exist, the biosphere, then you and I wouldn't exist, whatever that you and I is at the most fundamental level of reality. So we should not be taking existence for granted ever. And now the situation, the pandemic, COVID-19, is forcing us to ask ourselves, what is existence? And do I have to suffer? Can existence be taken away from that which I call me? These questions are coming up. And therefore, these ruminations, these exchanges between you and me, whether they're philosophical or physical or experiential or scientific, it doesn't matter. We are addressing a question that's very relevant to all of us. At some point, doesn't matter who you are, you are going to experience an existential anxiety. At that moment, there's some suffering. And also the fear of death, because death is one thing you can predict for every biological entity. It doesn't matter when it occurs. And in cosmic time, the difference between, say, living 75 years or 100 years or 50 years, in cosmic time, it's not even a flicker of 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 a nanosecond. But that doesn't, of course, that doesn't negate the fact that it doesn't matter how long our biological existence is. When it starts to be threatened, people don't like that. We don't like that. Nobody likes that. So that's why I've been posting these exchanges now. This is installment 16 on how can we go beyond our existential anxieties, our existential suffering, and the human fear of death. So, if it's okay with you, we continue this discussion. And if it's not okay with you, then just delete me right now. Okay, so the principle I want to share with you is your physical body is the product of entangled illusions. I am, that which we call I am, is the master illusionist. And when we wake up to I am, then we have the freedom to choose and even transform and upgrade our illusions within a certain range of human archetypal patterns. It's a long, long statement. But fundamental fact, your physical body is the product of entangled illusions. What do I mean by that? What's the difference between illusion and reality? Well, a good illusion feels real. Otherwise, we wouldn't call it an illusion. So just because it's an illusion doesn't mean that the experience is not real. The experience of what we call the body is real. The experience of what we call that tree behind me is real. The experience of thought is real. The experience of emotion is real. The experience of the Milky Way galaxy or starlit sky is real. The experience is real. But it is fundamentally an illusion. So what does that mean? Well, fundamentally it's an illusion because the experience is ungraspable, evanescent, ephemeral, and transforming. Every time you experience the world, even your own body or your thoughts, they're not the same. So every experience is a space-time event in our awareness, in our consciousness, that is labeled then as an object of experience. So right now, if you look at me and then look at the tree behind me and the paintings, all you're seeing is colors, shapes, and forms. And they're synonymous. Colors, shapes, and forms are synonymous. So without color, there's no shape. And without shape, there's no form. The only difference visually between this body, this jacket, this shirt, that tree, those paintings, visually, is shapes, colors, forms, synonymous. Without color, there's no shape. Without shape, there's no form. Without form, there is no experience of what we call physical objects visually. Okay, so when we give meaning to these colors, shapes, and forms. We give it a name, then we say, oh, that's the body of Deepak Chopra, that's a tree, that's a painting, that's the sky. Giving a name to an entanglement of colors, or shapes, or forms makes it an object of experience, whatever that object is, visually. The same principles apply, by the way, to all the senses, but we're now just taking form, appearance, shape, color, appearance as the primary experience. Of course, it's also solidity and its smell and its taste and its sensation and it is sound. It's all of those things, and the collection of all those things is what we reify, objectify as the objects of experience, including that which we call our own body. And furthermore, we know it's constantly, every snapshot of experience is a snapshot, period, a space-time event. The continuity to these space-time events is meaning, relationship, narrative, story, context, all of that, that gives humans the ability to construct their reality. Humans the ability to construct their reality. But that reality is a changing reality, and that's why we call it an illusion. It's not graspable. It feels real, therefore the experience is real. Of course, if you've been to a magic show, then it's very astonishing when a magician pulls out a rabbit from a hat, till you know how it's done. And so it's very astonishing right now that awareness is creating the experience of the tree, the experience of Deepak Chopra, the experience of these spectacles, the experience of jacket, colors, everything. It's astonishing because awareness is actually constructing that experience. And once you figure it out, then it shouldn't become less astonishing. It should just become even more astonishing because now you know how the illusion is created and you can actually help in transforming the illusion, whether it's the illusion of the body or the physical world, and having a different experience of the illusion, a more enjoyable, upgraded experience of the illusion within certain archetypal patterns of human experience. So why is it misleading? Even the illusion is misleading. Well, because our perceptual experiences occur within a narrow band of experience, number one. The human narrow band of visual experience is 300 nanometers to, say, 800 nanometers. Okay, there's a whole range of possibilities outside that range. So infrared, microwaves, radio waves, television waves, radio waves or television waves, all this cellular information that is not part of our conscious experience, and yet it must be at some level in experience, and because we are using it, the knowing of it, and the knowledge of it, and the labeling of it, that experience, and we're using right now to communicate each other. Your cells in the body respond and are aware of even X-rays and radio waves and microwaves and infrared and ultraviolet and gamma rays and cosmic rays because they respond. You can damage the cells of the body with X-rays. You can look at the cells of the body through CAT scans, etc. So through technology, we extend the range of our experiences, and not only do we extend, we give names and labels to these experiences, we construct the idea of electromagnetic fields, and force fields, and atoms, and gravity, and particles in human consciousness. And that's how we create all experience. The experience of our changing bodies, of our changing minds, of our changing world, of our changing technology. I was looking at the evolution of technology until the 1920s. There was nothing like television. This radio had been invented, and television came in the 50s, and then much later in fax machines, and much later the internet, and on, and now all these technologies that we have, extending the range of our experiences by expanding our awareness to subtler levels of reality. And yet, the experience we have is not reliable at a fundamental at a fundamental level, and being unreliable, it allows our biological organism, which is also an illusion, to be sustained. Now, let me explain that. Your experience every day tells you the earth is flat. Nobody believes that anymore. We know it's a globe, except for the flat earthers. They believe that the earth is flat. But we know it's not. Your experience of the ground you're sitting on, or standing on, or walking on, is that it's stationary. But you know it's spinning at dizzying speeds and hurtling through space at thousands of miles an hour. Your experience of your body is that it's solid, even though we know it's a process that's changing very fast, but it appears solid. Its experience is solid, even though it's electrons bumping into electrons. And at a finer level, just a force field of resistance that creates the experience of solidity, both as a sensation, also as a visual form, because consciousness modifies itself into shape and color. But the experience is unreliable. The earth is not flat. The earth is not stationary, and things are not solid. They're proportionately as void as intergalactic space. But without the experience of solidity, without the experience of a flat earth, without the experience of a stationary ground, your biological organism wouldn't survive. Because the illusion of the biological organism and the illusion of everything else that is physical are entangled. They go together. Each illusion actually is entangled with every other illusion. Furthermore, the experience of one illusion is tied into the experience of other illusions. Let's say I'm in a very dark room and I'm touching objects, and I can't see them, but I accidentally touch something called a lamp or a sofa, and all I experience is the sensation, but because of memory, I can conjure up the whole experience. This is a sofa, this is a lamp, etc. This is a physical body. Because the sensations, whether they are tactile sensations or auditory sensations or visual sensations, they're all entangled. And they're entangled through what? What we call meaning. So there's the entanglement of meaning, there's the entanglement of qualia, shapes, colors, sounds, textures, and then there is the entanglement of objects. But at the fundamental level, it is the entanglement of the self with the self. That's all it is. The self knows itself as what we call experience, which we then call everyday reality. The illusory world appearance is entangled with the illusion of the body as a biological organism. Once again, the illusory world appearance is entangled with the illusion of the body as a biological organism. The biological organism is also completely transforming and changing in every moment. Form and appearance are entangled colors, sounds, words, music, poetry are entangled sounds. Without meaning, the sound is noise. Texture, hardness, softness are entangled sensations, and all these are modifications of the self interacting with itself. Therefore, both the body and the world are a unified experience, the entanglement of perceptions. And perceptions are modified vibrations or excitations of consciousness, which is your true self. Your true self activated in movement. That's why, in the wisdom traditions, they say, in my stillness, I am the eternal possibility. In my movement, I am the cosmos. But we also know that all perceptions are misleading, inaccurate, fragmented, and yet necessary for the survival of the organism, the biological organism, which is part of the entanglement of illusions. Fragmentation of this fundamental reality, which is infinite, the fragmentation of that, the attempt to measure the infinite, the excitations, the vibrations, take the form of the world appearance, including the body, and also the appearance of the mind, the interpretation of all that perceptual activity. So quantum physicists talk of quantum entanglement, philosophers talk of qualia entanglement, meaning entanglement, but in fact, everything is entangled. You and I are entangled beings of the entangled universe. And the source of the universe is the entanglement of infinite possibilities as in awareness, superposition of all possible outcomes, quantum entanglement. But it's also qualia entanglement, the entanglement of qualities of experience. And ultimately, that's all it is happening, qualia entanglement, qualities of experience, softness, hardness, color, sensation, taste, texture, image, feeling, thought, all the activities of the body, eating, breathing, digestion, metabolism, elimination, sensory experience, moods, aspirations, dreams, sleep-wake cycles, all entangled at the fundamental level as I am. Therefore, I am is the master illusionist. I am is the master illusionist. Once again, therefore, I am is the master illusionist. I am is mixing and matching qualia through conditioned patterns of response and memories and desires. And I am basically the Shiva that is manifesting as the Shakti in every species. Every biological species, every biological organism is a changing form and phenomenon given a name by humans. A butterfly is awareness butterflying itself into the biological organism called the butterfly and its experiences. I mentioned the painted lady butterfly that smells the world through its antenna, tastes the world through its legs, and hears the world through its wings, and sees the world through 30,000 lenses in her eyes that shimmer and move like a kaleidoscope. Another, a butterfly experience. Awareness is having a butterfly experience, a tree experience, a Deepak Chopra experience, a painting experience. So what are these? These are qualia. And they are actually conditioned human qualia. Name and form. Nam, Rupa. In Sanskrit, Nam means name, and Rupa is appearance. And these names and forms these days, of course, are entering our ability to create things like 3D printing. What is 3D printing? It's the same thing as the 3D tree behind me or the 3D body. A collection of zeros and ones, sequentially ordered in a certain pattern that appears as a tree, as a body, as the Milky Way galaxy. 3D printing is doing that already. And soon, remote 3D printing. So What does waking up to reality mean? Waking up to reality means that you are aware that you are the master illusionist, that you are constantly creating reality by giving names to experiences and putting a certain quality of attention and intention to those experiences. Give attention to the experience behind me. Give it a name, and you see a tree. Then you see Deepak, or you see yourself. Okay. Name and form, Nam Rupa, the human ability to contextualize and give meaning to a perceptual activity and actually create objects of our experiences. This is what we're doing all the time, but we're doing it through conditioned responses and within a certain archetypal framework of human experience. Because we cannot know what that tree looks like, what that tree looks like to a butterfly or an insect or an eagle or at night to a bat, etc., etc. There is no such thing as the picture of the world. There is only a way of looking at the world, and the way of looking at the world can be adjusted once you sink into the experience of I am. Waking up simply means the freedom to manifest as form and phenomena. Now, as infinite being, as infinite consciousness, as pure consciousness, prior to any archetypal patterning of the consciousness, infinite being is always infinite possibilities, infinitely unpredictable, infinitely creative, infinitely evolving, infinitely self-regulating, and infinitely manifesting as form and phenomena, as pure consciousness, which is the ultimate I am. But within the ultimate I am, there are human I ams and other I ams, butterfly I ams and tree I ams, all within, actually conceptualized within human I am. So even that tree or a butterfly or the Milky Way galaxy or anything that has been given a name by humans is actually the expression of the matrix of human consciousness. That was why I named one of my books, You Are the Universe. Literally, Aham Brahmasmi, that is the exact meaning of the phrase Aham Brahmasmi. That we are the universe, but we are the human universe. And there are butterfly universes and insect universes and snake universes and bat universes, and they too will exist within the matrix of the human universe because humans gave names to those phenomena, to that qualia entanglement, and humans quantified that as quantum entanglement. Humans gave meaning to that, and humans conceived, constructed, governed, and became the universe. But now, if we do that of all other sentient beings, then we are choosing extinction. Let's not do that. Let's be very, very humble in our sacred response to existence. That's all. All we have to do is be humble and actually surrender to the wisdom of uncertainty and the sacred response. And what happens when you do that? You are surprised, you're delighted, there's an aha moment, you are inspired, you have a vision, you have creativity. Creativity is never off the mind. Creativity comes from understanding entanglement beyond the mind. Creativity is prior to objects, subject-object split. Creativity is the source of inspiration and the source of new meaning, new context, new relationship, new narrative, new story. So today, let's say to ourselves, I'm grateful for existence. I'm humbled by existence. I'm bewildered by existence. I'm surprised by existence. I am joyful for existence. And with that, let's choose today's mantra. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat, the ultimate truth. Chit, pure consciousness. Ananda, the bliss at the knowing of not only my existence, but all existence, and my existence, and all existence, and also knowing that non existence is not a reality because non existence is not an experience. If that seems reasonable enough, then that's our mantra. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. That's what it means also to be metta, metta, beyond human, beyond the human condition mind. So, of course, that's the book, current book, Metta Human. And I have a new one coming out, Total Meditation, How to Live the Willful Life, going even beyond Metta Human. I'm encouraged by your comments, and I'm grateful for this opportunity for daily exchange. Today, just let's surrender to mystery, to existence. Sat Chit Ananda.